learning, there are certain problems, and finally when we land up in job, what we get there is we come to know that we are aware only about one single part of Java as a technology. So after taking feedback from industry and probably we executed some 20 batches already, we got good feedback about this course because employability increased and we do have certain people who are placed through us and also directly after clearing the interview. So that is what is overall objective of this course. It provides you a professional approach in order to learn things, in order to ensure that your employability and your retainability in industry is longer. And how it will be longer? It will be longer because you will be aware about not only one part of a domain, but you will be aware about various different interventions which a professional needs to be done. So a company will always like to retain a professional who can participate in entire life cycle of the project, right? So we'll start here and we'll see how actually this training will be taken, what all tools we'll be using in order to ensure that training goes smooth, what all resources will be provided to you during the training, at end of the training, and post-training support as well, which includes job support also, right? Now, as I already gave you brief of what actually we will be doing. If you have any questions, you can always type it on the chat and I'll be taking up that question at the right point of time, right? See, when it comes to software or when it comes to IT, what actually is needed? That is what we need to understand in order to ensure the overall perspective of our course. Basic objective of IT is to ensure that whatever gap is there between business and IT, that need to be filled, right? It means whatever business activities are there, how actually IT can support it, how actually IT can automate it, and how it is going to provide that particular business unit an edge over other existing business units. That is what is overall objective of IT, right? With this course, we have collected, end-to-end Java development, not only development, but various other aspects, which will make you a mature developer. And believe me, the minute you will go in interview, you will be using terminologies which are expected by an interviewer or which are expected by a company. Not only that, when you will develop something, you will be using standard conventions which are used in industry in order to develop a product, right? Yes, code seems to be a bit complex, but we can't help out because this is what is need of industry. We have to pass through this phase. Either we pass through now or we pass through when we are there in jobs, right? We'll start here. What we are going to do is we are going to have a multi-layered learning of Java, right? We'll start off with basics in order to ensure that you are confident that yes, I can also code, and you start enjoying your errors. Like right now, what happens whenever error comes, people hesitate and they shut down the systems and they start opening books and start reading, right? Now here our objective is to ensure that you are thrilled with errors and you yourself go and try to find out solutions for it, so that habit of handling error can be generated in you, and you will not hesitate whenever error comes. You will feel or take it as a challenge and you will try to eliminate it. This is what is a basic way which we adopt in order to train you, right? This course actually, this course actually does what? This course provides you that overall a picture of Java as development. Now, if we see here, what actually will be takeaway? Takeaway will be sound understanding of what a business is, how an architecture is built using that business, and what simplifications have been done in Java in order to make development fast. Second part that we will focus is in-depth coverage of technologies, so that the minute any architecture comes in front of you, you are able to identify, okay, here I have to use web, here I have to use distributed computing, here I have to use EJB, here I have to use messaging, here I have to go with synchronous communication, you have to go with asynchronous communication, here we need database, here we need XML, right? You will be able to identify different elements and productively use those elements in your project, right? Third objective is to ensure that your knowledge gets transformed into a skill, so that whatever you gain out of this, you are able to apply it in your projects, right? In order to ensure that you get the feel of real project, what we do, we identify domain, we do domain analysis along with you, we create scenarios along with you, we demonstrate how actually those scenarios are coded, and finally we make you also do those things in order to ensure that you are up and on the way to start up with the projects, right? Now, how this course is organized? If you see, this course is organized in these different blocks. First is build the base, right? Now, this part is very important because whether you are from IT background or you are from non-IT background, you need to understand what data is, what process is, right? Because when we talk about a program is basically nothing but it's a activity that is done on data. So you will have two blocks. One is data, how to organize the data, how to structure that data, right? And how actually you can apply different processes on that data in order to get the information. And we use very simple technique in order to help you in understanding that data, right? For example, in build the base, we cover XML, which helps you to understand data, which helps you to understand what grammar is on data, which helps you to understand what all different type of constraints are there which are applied on data, right? Then we help you in building representation of that data using HTML5, right? So we tell you that data capturing need to be done, for which you have to create a presentation. Data reporting has to be done, for which you have to go and create a layout, right? So data presentation, once you are aware, then you have to understand how data is manipulated. In order to manipulate data, you will be using something called as JavaScript. Now, why we place JavaScript here? Very simple. We have to tell you how to write logic, right? In order to help you in writing logic, we have selected JavaScript because it is simple. Another objective is, once you are aware about data, data presentation and writing logic, you are a placeable element in market, because if you go and see job sites, you will find a number of combinations there where they will ask you skill sets which includes HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, right? We have selected jQuery here itself with another objective. That objective is to tell you that what is role of a framework. When you write core JavaScript code, you will find that you have written 20-30 different lines, and how actually when you go ahead and use a framework, it helps you to eliminate or reduce the size of code. There you will appreciate frameworks, because we are going to cover n number of frameworks in each and every layer, right? Once all these four elements are done, we will go and we will help you in building a responsive web application where we will be using all these technologies, right? This is what is layer 1. In layer 2, we will help you in drilling Java, right? We will ensure that when we talk about Java or when we talk about any language, there are two objectives. One objective is I should be able to clear the interview. Second, I should be able to go and crack certification, right? The overall objective of this Java is blended in such a way that you will be able to clear certification as well as you will be able to attend an interview, apart from definitely having coding skills, right? So we cover almost everything whatever is there in Java. Focus will be there again on using best practices and how actually you can tune your application, because this is something which is very important. When you write code, you sometimes forget that whether this code is efficient or not. So we will tell you how actually you will come to know whether your code is efficient or not. We'll be telling you various tools which are used in order to go and see what is the memory usage, what is the CPU usage, and all, right? So this is what will be the objective in Java. Once you are thorough with Java, we'll go with building up web applications, right? and this actually is with objective of helping you again to understand how your applications can be made available on www, right. So we will be taking up in-depth coverage of this, and we will ensure that at end of this particular unit you are able to create a dynamic web application where client and server will interact with each other. We will tell you what protocols are used. We will tell you how you can secure your applications, right. We will tell you how actually you can fine tune your application. We will tell you how actually you can integrate your application with mail, APIs or databases or message oriented middleware. See, some terminologies may be complicated, but believe me, once we will start, we will take it in a simple way so that you get everything. Now here my objective is to help you in understanding overall perspective of the course, right. So I will not move much deep in this, because I need confidence to come in you, and that will come in you once you see me coding, once you see and have confidence in yourself that yes, things can be simplified, right. Then we will go for distributed apps. When we talk about distributed apps, basic objective here is to ensure that frustration of a developer is given to someone which is automated, right. So a developer gets frustrated when you ask him to code business logic plus handle low level of services like multi-threading, security, and there are many. So J2E or JE specification came and they simplified life of developer by making what? By making everything declarative in nature. As a developer, you will be writing a simple code and you will be using some declarations in order to tell container how you want that particular code to be handled by that container, how you want that container to apply security on the applications, right. So this is what is overall objective, and we will ensure that you are following the right approach. So if you see, we have kept here EJB patterns, best practices, we have kept here administrative skills, we have kept here securing EJB security skills, we have kept here transaction management, we have kept here automated execution of some code in order to do housekeeping tasks, right. And don't feel very complicated, because all these things are very simple. You will see once I will write, right. So once you have everything, then you will think about, okay, if some code is written in .NET, how I access it, or I want my code to be made accessible to everyone without being dependent on technology. So what you have to do, you have to make your code available using some standard protocol, which is HTTP, right. So whatever component you have written, those components can be quickly made available over HTTP through web services, right. So we are going to tell you what is a web service, how to consume a web service, how to create a web service, and how web service fits into SOA life cycle, right. So now when you go out for job, or when you go and start trying after 1 year or 2 years, or even now after 1 month or 2 months, you will find that almost all industry is talking about SOA, service oriented architecture, right. They will no more talk about binary trees, they will no more talk about complicated algorithms at low level. If you are going for a, you say for a domain which is business specific, because all these things are already researched, well researched, they are already bundled. Java or any other language have provided you 1 or 2 statements in order to quickly go and do binary search or apply any algorithm for that matter, right. All these courses are mapped to certification. All these steps which I am telling you will be told to you taking up real-time scenarios, standards, and frameworks. So if you see here, we are using 4 frameworks here. One is Access, CXF, Fuse, and Mule, right. Now all these things, when it will come on your profile, believe me, automatically power will come to your profile, right. So this is what we will do and so on. Then comes frameworks. You will be able to come up with your own application by this time, right. Once you have created your own application, you will like to simplify or fine tune that application, for which you will go and identify, okay, where I should use springs, where I should use structs, what is use of GWT, can we use GWT in our project, what is Hibernate, how Hibernate will simplify my application, what is Apache Access, how I will simplify my web services and control my web services using Apache Access, right. how Spring Framework is going to complement my EJBs or my messaging system. All that is what we will go and cover here. Okay. Again, as I told you that initially in last batches also, when we told that we are going to do all this, they felt that, oh my God, it is very complicated. But to ensure that all these things will be taken in a very simplified way, where your effort will be minimized because of our research that we have done in these areas, right? So this is what is overall objective of framework, right? Now, what we will do is we will just see some small things in order to ensure that you are feeling comfortable. So what I'll do, I'll first write a hello world program, and then I will show you how that hello world program itself can be quickly made in form of a web service, right? So are you all ready to see the code? Probably we will start from scratch when we start the session, but in order to give you the feel that things are not that complicated which we feel, and generate some confidence in you so that you can start learning properly and in right direction close to what happens in industry, I'm going to demonstrate you one or two pieces of code that helps you to generate confidence in you, right? So even if you are not aware about Java, just keep counting number of lines which I am writing. Just keep on seeing how many keyboard keys I am pressing in order to do the task. Okay, I need some prompts on the chat box, right? Bharat, is that fine? Shall we go ahead? Right. Now, if you see Eclipse is one of the IDs, I'll be telling you 3 different IDs so that in case if you go to another company and they ask, I don't want Eclipse, I want NetBeans or I want JDeveloper, right? You should not hesitate. You should be comfortable in that. So we do a workshop for that. That workshop is migrating code from Eclipse to JDeveloper, migrating code from JDeveloper to Eclipse, right? So you will be comfortable in almost everything. Right, so we'll start here. What I am doing, I am using Eclipse as I told you. Even if you are not aware about Java, you need not worry because all these things will be covered from scratch. I am going to write simple hello world program for which I am going to create a very simple project, and it will be a core Java project. I'll just select here simple core Java project. Right, I'll just give it a name. I'll write here sample 1. Right, you need not worry about all this because all these things will be explained to you in detail when we start up with the session. You have to just see how things are simple, and then it will be our responsibility to ensure that you are able to do all this. I'm not taking any external library. I'll just go and click on finish. I'll say yes, and we get here client area where we will write our Java code, right? I'll go and expand this, select SRC, right click, and as I told you that I'll be writing a very simple Java program or a class. Let me say hello world class, right? I'll click on finish, right? Our training will not start from here, our training will start from scratch. I'll just go here and take up a method, public void, or let me return something here, public string say hello, and let me pass something here, say string message, right? Now this is what is boundary of the method, and I'll just go and write here return hello all. Now this becomes my class. Now as of now this is a simple class, right? Fine, I need some prompts. Bharat, you are responding, so I am asking you. Uday? Okay, great. Now if you see, I will like to use this code in my application, right? So assume that first application is local. So what I'll do, I'll just go here and create another class. I'll write here invoke client. Basically I'm giving it a name because I'm going to invoke that particular message from here. I'll go and click on finish. Now here what I'll do, I'll simply create an instance of hello world. You need not worry even if you are not from Java background, because I told you that we'll be starting from scratch. Objective of this is just to tell you and make you feel that things are not that complicated, right? Now what I'll do is I'll just go and make call to the method, right? Now you will be told what is this main, what is this public and all, but yes, when we start up with the real session, okay, I'll write here something and I'll save it. The minute I save, it will compile the code. Again, that compilation process and all we will be telling. Run as Java application. Now once I run it, you'll see the output, right? No worries, you just go and select console from here where you will be able to see the output. Now if you see, it returns a string, so I'll just go and write here this out, because it returns a string, right? It's not displaying anything. So I'll just go and save it. Now I'll run it. Run Java application. If you see, it displays the output. But this is a local client, right? Client which runs in the same JVM, right? All this JVM, architecture of JVM, I'll be explaining you. This is just in order to make you feel that things are going to be simple for you, and we are going to eliminate all these jargons from your brain, and we are going to give you the confidence. Now, my project manager is asking me, please go and make it a web service, right? Now see what I'll do. I'll just go here, right, and do some kind of proper customization of this. I'll say I don't want it outside package, right? So I'll write here form.service, right? I'll do this. I just created a package where I will keep this. You need not worry even if you are not aware about package, okay? I am moving this here. I moved it, I'll move this also. Right, so now it is there in my package. Now my project manager asks me, why can't you go and make this service quickly available to everyone, whether he's a .NET program or whether it is a C# program, right? Whatever, everyone should be able to access it, irrespective of whether they have JRE, they don't have JRE, whether they understand Java or they don't understand Java. Okay. Yes, Tejaswini, we can use any name. This is just convention which we use. We can use any name here. Okay, right? Naming convention, naming standard is what we'll be discussing when we start, right, with the real course. So project manager is asking, I want it to be a quick web service. I just go here and just add one single annotation. See, I just added one single annotation. This is a web service now. Right. Now my project manager is asking me, see, before I go and deploy it in the production, I want to test it. So that test here itself we can do and see how we are doing. I'll just go here, right click, new. I'll create a class. Now you have to just focus on number of steps which I am writing, and once we start with the training, you will find out how simplified things are for you. I'll write here invoke client 2. I'll take public static void main. Click on finish. Now problem is I cannot just go and create instance and make call to the method, because that call will again be local. So first I have to publish this web service on a server, right? My project manager is saying I don't want you to test it on any server as of now, do a local test, right? So for that you see what I am doing. I am going to publish web service, right? So this task which I am going to do is publishing web service. I am going to publish web service. Right. Now publishing web service using Java, just one line of statement, endpoint dot publish. Here I'll give whatever address I want to give. I'll give here HTTP. I want my web service to be accessible at this particular port, and I want this URL to be given to my web service. I'm writing here my web service. Whatever name you want, you can give, right? You don't have to follow any conventions here. Conventions are there which I will tell you depending on the domain, but as of now you can treat it as a simple string. Okay, I'll write here hello world, right? Now this is done here. I will just pass a simple instance of the class that we created, right? what is instance, what is class, what is difference between instance and class, all that will be told to you when we start up. Hello world. That's it. I'll just go and say, believe me, your web service will get published. Right click, run as Java application. Now if you see it's running, how I am sure that it is published? What I'll do, I'll just take it here. I'll copy this URL. I will launch my Firefox, or you say any browser, right? I am launching here Chrome, you say. Let it get launched. I'm launching here Chrome. So if you see the time that you took in writing code is rather less than launching Chrome, right? I'll just go here, Control V. Now I'm pasting it, right? Enter. Right, so these are some of the steps that you have to follow. If you see it is saying, right, that see this is what is web service and this is what is the address. Now you just pass on this address to Java client, .NET client. They need not bother that hello world is written in Java or it is written in .NET, right? Fine. Now what you can do? You can go and share this WSDL, which is Web Service Description Language. You need not worry again because that is our responsibility how we explain you this document, okay, which I will not do as of now, but just helping you out to understand how actually training will be and how training will help you to do the task, right? Knowledge we will give you. Apart from knowledge, we are going to give you the skills also, which you can use when you are at your work desk, right? Fine. So this WSDL actually explains about this web service. It tells the service is present here. This is what is the binding. So you'll be told by us what is SOAP, what is WSDL, what is UGPI when we go and talk about web services, right? Fine. Now you see another thing. I want to quickly write client, right? I have WSDL. Now forget that the service is written by you. Assume that you are getting this service from a client, right? So what I will do is I will generate Java client of a web service, right? That also I will take up real time, right? Let me go and search some web service which is there. Say I'll just go here google.com and I'll try to take up any service which is already available on web and I will try to generate a client for it. So I'm just going here and I'm taking up weather info web service, right? So there are certain web services which are there here. For example, you see this is what is web service. Their web service is down, right? So their problem. I'll just go and take up some other. Right, so you will get a web service. Just a second. Let me write here WSDL. It means I am asking, give me WSDL of a web service. Okay, I'll just go and click here. I don't know why it is down today. It is down. Let me go and take any. You can take any one of them. For example, you see this is what is there. Okay, I'll copy this, Control C. I'm just taking a web service which I don't know it is written in what language. I just want to use it to generate client at my end. Okay, right? Some services issues may be there because this is written by someone else, so you need to have a contract with them. They will pass you on the signature and all to generate. But let's try whether we are able to generate a client using this or not. Okay, for this what I'll do. No, Akash, you don't need you say knowledge of data structure and C++. You need to have this basic of what if is, what else is, what while is, what for is. That also we are going to cover. We are going to treat you as a novice in programming. Okay, this is the reason why we have kept build the base, where we first talk about data and then we talk about JavaScript, where we help you in understanding how a function is written, how a parameter is passed, how a value is returned, how logic is formulated or created. Okay, so you don't worry about having a prerequisite of C and C++. Yes, if you know that, it may be an added advantage, but we are going to treat you as you are not aware of C and C++, because it has been our experience that most of the people who have already done C, C++ probably they may not be that comfortable in writing code. Here our objective is not only theory, not only best practices, our basic or main important focus is on making you hands-on, right? Making you understand the problem and immediately start your fingers working on your laptops or on your desktops, right? Fine. So I'll just copy this. Let's go ahead and see some more simple things here. Now what I'll do, I'll go here to terminal, right? Now this is my terminal. You can do it in command prompt on Windows or on Linux, whatever operating system you select. We are going to provide you end-to-end help in doing installation of all softwares, right? We will pass on you instructions, or you say instruction manual, where step-by-step installation of software will be there. We are going to provide you 24/7 availability to the instructor, whom you can call and you can resolve your problem immediately, right? Apart from that, we are going to use a blog where you can post your problem, which will be immediately received by the instructor and he has to reply for that immediately, right? So we have created a channel where, though we are not able to see each other, but we will be able to support each other by taking up your doubts and by clearing it there, right? We will tell you about those logistics, but as of now, let's go and see how actually I will generate a Java client if I am getting a WSDL, right? Let me go and do some basic tasks. mkdir, right? We know what is this for. It is for creating a directory, and I'll write here web service client. I'll press enter, right? Now what I'll do, I'll just go and write cd web service client. I move to the directory, right? After moving to the directory, I'll use a small tool that will do what? It will take my WSDL and it will quickly generate the required Java classes. Okay, let's do ws import. Let me test it whether this tool is there or not. This tool is there, it's working, right? So what I'll do now is I'll just go, I'm there in my web service client and I'll use the tool ws import, right? Specify the directory where you want. I want all my Java to be generated in the current directory, which is my web service client. Next, minus keep, right? When I say minus keep, it means I don't want only class files. I want to see the source file also, right? After this, I'll go and I will just paste my WSDL, right? I'll press enter. If you see, it says it is not supporting SOAP encoding. It means they are using some SOAP encoding which is not supported by Java. So it cannot be interoperable web service, right? So in order to show you how it generates, what I will do, I'll be using our WSDL which we created, right? So there are various standards which I will tell you, WS1 compliance, WS2 compliance, all these are there. What I'll do, I'll just replace this WSDL with our WSDL, right? Okay. So let me see this Google search. 1. I'll take one Google search one and we'll try to generate. You have to just pass the WSDL here. Right? Fine. See, for that matter, you have to just go and select any WSDL. See, this is not compliant to the standard, right? So let's forget about these websites, these search, because sometimes what happens, companies will apply restrictions, right? And they will adopt a particular standard which you have to follow. So as of now, we are just doing basics ones, where I am not asking you to edit anything in WSDL. So what I'll do, we will generate quickly client for our web service that we created. I'll paste it here, question mark WSDL. Let's go and see. See what it did, parsing WSDL, generating code, compiling code, right? So once we go and take WSDL, we will open WSDL, we will look into standard, and then we will go and apply this tool, right? And all information regarding what version of SOAP and all is supported will be present here in this file, right? We'll explain you from scratch, you need not worry. But if you again focus on number of activities that we did in order to generate this was pretty less. Okay, I just used one tool. Now where it has generated, right where we have web service client, it has generated all these classes. What I'll do, I'll quickly go and copy this. So you have to just see the simplicity or the number of tasks that we are doing. I'll copy, and what I'll do, I'll start a new project. I can go and create a new project here, just to show you that it's a different project where I am writing time. Take a simple Java project. Next, test2 I am creating. Next, finish. Right. So for people who are new to Java, they need not worry because we'll be telling this from scratch. You have to just see that tasks are very simple, and once you go through a systematic approach of training, you will be sitting and you will be doing all these tasks in a minute. Right? If you see, all these classes are part of my course. Okay. Now you need to actually understand what is this, what is service, what is object factory, and that is what we are going to do in the training, right? So are you feeling that things are complex when it comes to development? Don't you feel that once we are aware about standards, once we are aware about the business, once we are aware about tools, once we are aware about effectively using tools which comes up with different versions of Java, things will be simple for you, right? I want prompts and questions as well. Today is the case. Great. Now, if you see other tasks, I was talking about performance tuning and all that, right? How I will come to know what is the performance of my application, right? See how to do that. You have n number of tools for that. No, it has not gone into deep subject, Siddharth. What we are going to do is we are going to do it from scratch. We are just trying to reflect simplicity which is there. Okay, I do understand terminologies like what is web service, what is this and all is not as of now clear to you. You have to just evaluate us. This particular demo is to help you in evaluating us, right? I will be taking up a simple scenario also where we will be telling you how we start up with XML or core Java, right? You need not worry about that because we are going to treat you as a newcomer in Java world itself, right? This is just to help you in evaluating us, to give feedback to us whether we are really doing something which is close to industry, which is going to help you in subject or not, right? So you are actually evaluating me as of now, right? Fine. So I was talking about how to check the performance. See, I just write one line. I just write one line here. There is a tool which comes along with your basic JDK itself. No extra installation required. It launches a tool the minute I wrote JConsole, right? And if you see here, you have this COM service invoke client, right? This is the web service which we have created, which is running at this particular process. Let me connect to it. And believe me, after training, you will be able to do this very, in a very comfortable way. Now, if you see, it displays you statistics. What is the memory usage? How many threads are there? How many threads are live? Right now, I do understand that understanding thread as of now might be a bit difficult, but we are going to cover that in our core Java part, right? If you see how many classes are loaded, what is the CPU usage, right? This actually helps you to understand whether your application is fine-tuned or not. Okay, right? You can have different views of things. You see, it tells you what amount of heap, what amount of non-heap, and all these things. Right? So you see, tasks are very simple. It's only thing is you need to know the context, right? In what context, what tool needs to be used, and we are there to help you out. In that case, why should everything in Java has to be done in a class? Okay, Bharat, its answer is very simple. When actually Java was, I'll tell you a brief history about Java. When actually, first I will answer your question very straight. Java adopted best approach of programming, and best object of programming was object oriented, right? Java said we are going to be 100% object oriented language. In C++, if you see, you can write main outside classes, but Java said when we talk about object oriented programming, nothing should be outside a class. Everything should be there inside the class, right? This is the reason why not even a single line of instruction in Java is written outside class. Okay, there are some deviations, static block and all, but Java claims to be 100% object oriented. This is the reason why whatever analysis or whatever design you do, it is done using class. Is that clear, Bharat? So whenever you are asking questions, please select everyone so that everyone can understand the context. Okay. If you will ask questions to me privately, other will not understand what I am talking about. So whenever you ask questions, please do select send to everyone so that everyone is aware about that question, right? Fine. So this is how actually things will go, right? Now let me give you a feel of how actually core Java will be taken, right? We will talk about history of Java, why Java came up. We'll talk about features of Java. Java is platform independent and all that we will be talking about. We will tell you from scratch what is basic benefit of Java, why Java is used in everywhere industry and all, right? And we will start up with coding, right? When we start up with coding, we will start up with helping you in understanding what an instruction is. Okay. So assume that I want to tell you what and how to start writing code in Java, right? So I'll just take a new class here, again a class Bharat. So and here what we will do, our objective is to understand how to start writing code in Java, right? So irrespective of language, if you see, a program is collection of n number of instructions where each instruction is composed of opcode and operand, right? Where opcode means operation that you want to do, operation in the sense task that you want to do, and operand is the data on which that particular task is applied, right? So when I say int I is what? It's operand data. When I say I plus j, Plus is what? It is operation or opcode, right? In a created environment. But what about if we need to write a basic environment without having these many features? Yes, Akash, we will be actually starting up with Notepad only. We will write all this using Notepad. So when we start up with our session, we will talk about Java installation, right? Don't ask me questions privately because others will not understand that suddenly I move to what context. So just to tell others, we got a question from Akash who asked, we are now executing the program in a created environment, but what about when we need to write a program in basic environment without having these many features as Eclipse does, right? So here we are not going to use Eclipse in first 4 sessions. First 4 sessions will be only using Notepad, right, where we will talk about installation first. We will talk about setting up the environment, right. We will talk about using any editor to write Java class. We will talk about using compiler to compile and generate bytecode, right. Now we will talk about what is bytecode also, right. So all these are something which when we will start out from scratch, we will start it in this way, using compiler to generate bytecode and then using interpreter to interpret, right. Yes, Bharat, you do have main, right, but when we talk about Java, right, I feel everyone is able to see Bharat's question. See Bharat, when we talk about Java, Java is not only built to write applications which are for devices or which are for console. Using Java, you can write various type of applications which includes console, which includes Windows, which includes web, which includes enterprise, right, which includes, you say, I'm just writing shortcuts here, enterprise, which includes web services, which includes web, other things also, right. Now when it comes to main is a function which is used in Java too, in Java as well, but it is used only for executing code in local JVM or local JRE, right. If I want to execute code on server side JRE, then in that particular class we don't need main. Is that clear, Bharat? Right. So for example, in Java you might have heard about servlet. Now servlet is something which is not executed in client, so you don't write main there, right. You write servlet and you give it to the server will execute that, right. So main is definitely needed, but main basically executes your code in local system, right, with local JRE. Is that clear? Fine. So when we talk about how we'll start up using interpreter, right. To interpret, we will use debugger. You say like command line debugger to debug the code, right. We will use, you say, tools to decompile. For example, I have class file, but I want to see .java file, right. So we have decompilers for that, right. So I'll be using or telling you various tools which will be used, so that you are not handicapped in case if Eclipse is not there or IDE is not there. Okay. Akash, is the question answered? Right. So I feel that you understand. See, a basic objective here is not only help you in understanding Java. Basic objective is to help you in using Java effectively and using real or doing real work using these languages, right. Now just to surprise you, now in Java it's not only Java as a language which is supported, it supports Ruby also. It means when it comes to .NET talks about language independence. Java used to talk about platform independence, but now Java has come up with compiler which can not only interpret Java code but can also interpret code written in Ruby, Python, and various others. Right? All these are enhancements which are done, which you will be told. Right? So this is what is basic way of helping you in understanding technology. I took up web service and all just to ensure that you are able to see that things which are complicated can also be handled quickly in simple way. Okay. Performance tuning, people talk, we can do it, we can understand it, and when you go for interviews and all, definitely questions will arrive from here. Okay, is that clear? So you understood the methodology which we will be using. Apart from this, we will be sharing lots of material with you. Fine. For example, in order to share material, what we will do is we will be using Google Docs. Okay. We will use Google Docs. If you see, I just go to my Google Docs and I'll show you what material will be shared with you. Apart from that, you will get customized material from Excel. You can see the template on the website also. But we do understand that we have to ensure that you are able to see material which directly comes from vendors. Okay. So we'll just see. I'll go to my Google Doc and I'll share there. I'll show you the drive so that you can get the feel of material that you will be using. Now, if you see here, you will have huge list of Java material, right? For example, you are worried that core Java and all. We'll start core Java from here, and we will be covering various, you say, elementary aspects of Java. We will ensure that first you are comfortable in Java, and then we will move and do things. So if you see here, we start up with basics, and all this material will be shared with you. Right. So if you see, we have here basic. We'll start up with basics. So people who are looking for things from scratch, if you see here, executing your first Java application, creating Java application, creating a class, field, constructor, declaring a class, right? All these things are there which we will use, right? Okay, it's not disconnected. What we will do, we will take a 2 minutes quick break so that your questions I can take, right? We'll have a 2 minutes quick break, right? And we'll start again. You can meanwhile take some rest because we do understand importance of break. right. So if you see, we will start up with scratch, you need not worry, and we will be starting up with basic, like what is object oriented programming, what is object, what is class, and then we will move forward. Now since course is comprehensive, we will ensure that you are aware about almost all of these technologies, right. As a matter of fact, whatever commitment we are doing here or whatever you are able to see, at end you will be comfortable in all these technologies, not only from theory perspective but also from certification and practical perspective, because we are going to adopt a methodology where we will start from basics, like you will understand what architecture is, right. You will understand what is domain. Now when we design domain model, we will go with in-depth, we'll go with in-depth understanding of object oriented systems, right. Once we understand object oriented system or object oriented concept, we'll go with developing the component, right. Now once components are developed, you will go with, if you see, applying testing. Once you have tested, you will deploy. Once you have deployed, you will just go and monitor the components, troubleshooting techniques, applying enhancements, right. And at end, if you see here, we will go with very important part. That part is understanding SOA and cloud, right. Here we will cover how actually you can use various SOA elements and how you will make your code available on cloud, and this also will be told to you practically, okay, right. If you have questions, you can ask me this so that I can tell you what blog we will use and how blog will be used. So if you have your question, you can go and you can ask me. I can take up your questions. Uh, uh, ensure that we all are there understanding the base, right. I am sure that you will be confused that it is like too much for you today, but yes, we have to understand the need of industry, and you need to understand that we are going to start up from basic, right. We'll start up from writing basic Java program, and then we will take you till there, right. So within a matter of time, once you start attending to sessions and all, you will find that you are comfortable in these terminologies, right. I cannot ask you that no, it is like very simple or terminologies. Even if you don't know, you will be able to do the program. No, I will tell you here that yes, if you want to reach to industry standard within a matter of time, you need to understand core part, that is basic fundamentals, where we are going to tell you fundamentals. We are going to help you in writing small programs, and then after you have written small programs, once you are comfortable in coding, once you are comfortable in user technology, slowly we will take you to architecture, you can say to architect level, or where you will be able to create web services, consume web services, and use various other tools which are there, which are used in industry, right. Today, if you see, Java as such is part of class 7th or 8th in India, right. In India, Java is being studied in class 7th or 8th, right. So after 2 or 3 years, you will find that people or students who are there in 12th, they are comfortable in coding, right. So you have to have the pace, you have to have the difference with that particular lot which will be there in market after some time.
Okay, so I cannot make things you say simple here. Yes, we can go ahead from scratch, from base. That's what is objective, making you understand everything at base level, and then slowly we will groom you so that you are able to use all these technologies in a fruitful and good way, and can participate at any level, or at you can play any role which is assigned to you. Because if I want to retain my job, I cannot retain it by just getting oriented towards one single role, that is developer or as tester, right? We have seen people in market who are now coming up to us and asking that I do testing, but now I don't want to do testing because beyond this nothing is there, right? And now they are going and they are taking up you say courses for SOA or for development and all, right? But if we start from beginning and if we understand various roles and if we visualize that what technology is used and all at various roles, it will be easy for us to adopt in the industry. Okay. Now if you say this is what is the blog, I have shown you the material. In blog we will have classroom, right, where we will have our questions and answers, in the sense your doubts and all you have to post here, right? You can post by just clicking on new post. You have to just go and give it a title, for example, class not compiling, right? And you will write error detail, right? And you have to just write here error detail or copy and paste the error detail, right? And click on save. Now the minute you save, whoever is the instructor, he will get this message, and here it will be comment will be written compile using Javac, ensure path and class path are set, right? Is that clear? I'll comment here, immediately you will get the reply, right? Again you will try, if things are not happening, again you can go and post or you can start commenting here. This will be lab guide. Now when we say lab guide, here we will be having lab guides which are shared with you or which will be shared with you, right? What kind of lab guide? It will be from scratch, which will tell you right click, open Eclipse, go to this place, write the code. It's step by step guideline to help you in code. Then you will have material. In this material you will have the same Google Doc link, and apart from that some extra material which we will share with you on time to time. All your meeting links will be there here. It means all your session links will be there here. You have to just come to this blog, click on the link, and your meeting will start, right? Instead of going to your mailbox every time and searching for the link. And then you will have videos. Now whatever sessions we are taking, for example today's session also, and apart from that whatever sessions we will take, you will have a video recording of that placed here. Advantage, in case if you are missing one session, you can go and see the video, right? Other advantage, these videos will be there with you for next 6 months to 1 year depending on your needs, right? And whenever you have doubt, you can just start up the session, listen to the session again. If you have doubt, you can post your doubts there, right? So these videos will be always present with you, so that in case if you want to review or if you want to have the same session again for you, you can just go and take help of these videos, right? It's a small collaboration tool which is there, which need to be used by us effectively in order to share the information, right? Today also, like, we have many people who are still using the videos and we get their doubts, right? Whenever there are interviews, they will post their interviews and we will give them support by providing some 300 to 400 questions, take their answers and rectify their answers, telling them that this is what should be the expected answer or this is what is the expected answer. So we follow a mechanism where support process is always there, and people who take who come here and get trained, they will have access to all these resources always. Right? So this is how we will be sharing our resources with each one of us. Right? So if you have any questions, you can ask. Raghu, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Uday? Okay. Anvesh, you have any questions? Right. So what I'll do is I'll end the session because it will be 10:30. You need to have your dinner. I'll end the session and I'll wait for more feedback. Okay.
Thank you.
Open that one? Open that. I'll see you.
The question now.
Blackboard okay.
1 second. Yeah, you're asking duration of the course. I just
Blackboard open. Email. Open up.
1 second. Deepak, can you mute yourself? Now, if you see at the end of the day, once you have completed your session, you will have all these skill sets in you. Right? You will be able to use any one of these skill sets. Training model or duration, if you see, it's 100 to 120 hours. You will have case studies. You will have interview and resume guidance for 2 hours if you need. Else, if you are studying and if you need guidance in your project for submission of project and all, that is what will be there. 24/7 support. You will have a toll-free number. You can call anytime the mentor. Free material and blog access for not 3 months. We have increased it to 1 year because people have been asking us. Right? It is not bad to tell about credential of the trainer who will be training you. So this is what is some of them. If we go with Java, I have been Java certified, and this is what is the score. I'll be using this score, or when we go and talk about Java, intervention will be there with certifications also, right? And this is what is SOA certificate. So credential wise, we are strong. We have experience of almost 15 years in industry. We have done consulting for companies like Google, Sun, and Oracle, and also Yahoo. So we have understanding of market. In our team, content management is done by people who are a core part of Google. We have a team who takes care of SAP also, and they are from SAP Labs. So our group, when we say, or this particular company will not take trainers who are actually coming from colleges and they themselves are freshers, right? We want people to understand the technology. We want people to definitely feel uncomfortable with the complexity of the technology. Yes, what role we play is we simplify that complexity in order to make you the profile which companies like Google, Yahoo or product based companies are looking for, right. So instead of wandering here and there on 1 month or 2 months or 3 months contract project, you should be a placeable material. You should be able to negotiate in market on basis of your skill sets, right. It's there. Yes, Varshita, these are my certifications. These are some of them, right. But at the end of the day, certification or showing certification will not matter much because we have to follow a proper grooming methodology for others. So my certificates will come in use in my use. Yes, they are there to show the credentials. But what what we do is we get our people certified by helping them throughout the certification process, whether it is helping them to identify the right certificate, helping them to identify the importance of the certificates, helping them to prepare for certification, and also giving them inputs how to clear the certification, what part they need to study more, where they have to focus, giving them some 1,000 or 2,000 questions related to certification. So we are going to do all this. This is the reason why we have 100 to 120 hours of session, right, which we cannot elaborate in 1.5 hours or 2 hours of demo, right. Objective of demo is basically to help you in understanding the course. If you have any questions related to course, you can ask. Objective of the demo was to tell you that we have mentors who have real experience in industry, who can code things in front of you, who can also be of use when you are there at job. When you will have any problem, you can post your job related issues or your errors, and you will get the help from the right people. Okay. Now, if you are not from computer science background, I need not tell you that you will understand from scratch or not. You will understand from scratch because if you remember, I told you that I will be treating you as a student who is not aware even about C and C++. And this is what is the challenge that we take up. We have trained people from Oceanic series and all, people who are not even aware about what computer is. Initially, their hands used to not be, you say, working out properly on keyboard or even on mouse. So we have been successful in training those people also, because what we need is good mind. What we need is an engineer who can relate things, who can understand things, who can understand plain English, who have mathematical capabilities, right? Who has good, you say, understanding of math. Why math? Because when it comes to math, you do problem solving there. So when we talk about computers, also it is not very different from math. Here also you do problem solving. Yes, tools are different, language is different, instructions are different, and that is where we come into picture. Okay, so you will understand it from scratch, right? We are going to treat you as a fresher. If you are a fresher, we are going to treat you as you don't know anything about coding, right? And we'll start from there. Is that fine, Varshita? Okay, right. But my objective here is to make you aware that what industry needs, what you are, how to fill that gap, right? That is what where our role comes, right? Same web services, if you will try to learn on your own, you may take lots of time, you may read 1,000 pages books, but when it comes to implementing it, your fingers should work, you should know tools, and you need to know how to intercept or interpret those technologies. Okay. Any other question, Anvesh? Tejaswini, any questions? Okay. I never got any questions from Uday. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Ritik. So any other questions?
So my basic question was will I be able to take up these courses and be able to perform as a budding professional? But then that question, I think it is met with your answer. I hope I can actually fit into the programming of your into the program.
Yes, the first thing what is needed is confidence, right? And second thing which is needed is you cannot run away from problems, right? Today I can say you that see I will teach you Java in a very simple way and all, but no, my objective is to ensure that you understand the complexity, you understand what industry needs. We need to have objective. My objective here is to ensure that whatever we are doing it as per industry, right? So I cannot tell you that it's very simple and you can do it, or you can do it from scratch. And no, we have to understand that things are complex, but yes, how to move to that particular complex things and how to crack them, how to feel comfortable. If things were so simple, like getting job might have been very simple for everyone, but if you see, you know Java, you have done certification also, but when you land up in interview, they will ask you questions which actually are required by them. Right? They will not see whether you are a fresher or you have come from X stream to Y stream, right? They want people who have that understanding what they need, right? This is the reason why we should understand it very clearly, that by telling that I'll be teaching you Java, and yes, we will start from scratch. We will build the base first, which will be simple with Hello World program. But yes, we are going to take you to that level also, where you will be talking in terms of technology, where your interview answers will be much mature as compared to others, right? Is that clear? So that's what is overall objective. Fine. So we are not doing, you say we are not tutoring on Java to help you in writing your exam. We are tutoring you so that you can understand, and you can understand the technology from market perspective as well as from academic perspective. That's what is objective. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, Uday, we are going to do those activities. We will start from identify the requirement. We will go ahead and build class diagrams, object diagrams, sequence diagrams, and then we will go for coding. After coding, we will go for testing. After testing, we will go for deployment. After deployment, we will go for monitoring. Right. So we will go through step by step those processes. Right. So if you see, this is how we start. When you are there in profession, you have to start up with this. Identify the architecture where you will do all these activities. Now, prepare NFR, non-functional. This is not the right time where I should discuss, but this is what industry uses internally. Use case elaboration and then coming up with coding, where this part is very important, where you will learn many technologies which includes Java, XML, HTML5, JavaScript, right? Then you will develop components using these technologies. You will apply best practices and patterns, right? And then you will go for testing it, where you will use various testing tools in order to test the programs. After testing is done, you will go and deploy the application so that clients can use it. Right? So we are going to follow a process where you will be able to position your profile in each one of these layers, right? As a developer, as an architect, as a test engineer, as a deployer, as well as an IMS, that is infrastructure management support, right? Fine. Right, Uday, can you unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yes. All I wanted to know is how everything like you said about web architecture, web services, you said about SOA, you said about Hadoop, lots of these things, right? I just want to know what is the, I mean, where is everything you said placed in the big picture, and what are we doing in each and every place? Like, what are we doing with SOA? What are we doing with web services? What are we doing with testing, like that?
Yeah. Now,
if I can get an overview from that, maybe in the coming sessions or so, that will be easy for me to understand, and then I can put things together.
I'll just give you the big picture for this. Good that you asked this question. So, the big picture here is when we start representing a company and we start building their IT infrastructure, what we do first, we go and create a application, right? Now that application should provide an interface through which clients of that particular application can connect. For example, you think of some ticket booking like cleartrip.com, right? Now in cleartrip.com, you will have two types of clients. Assume that you are the owner of cleartrip.com. So you will have two clients, right? One is end user, customer. So it becomes C2B, right? Customer will send ticket search, right? And then you will have another client who will be your airlines providers, right?
Okay.
So in order to provide an interface to the end user who is client, you will be using HTML5, jQuery, JavaScript. In order to ensure that you are able to pass on that search to n number of airline providers, what you will do? You need to communicate with them, right? Now, it is not necessary that they are also using Java, right? They will be using other languages. So how you will communicate? You will communicate using web services, right? This is one of the ways. Fine. Now, we have done web services. What happens here? We are able to cater both these requirements. Now suddenly what happens, I want to store information about all visitors, whoever has visited throughout the day, or you say throughout the life cycle of my application. So you will have billions, trillions of records. Or you think of Facebook, where millions of records are getting updated or uploaded daily. Like you'll have so many photos or so many videos getting uploaded. How that volume of data will be managed, right? In order to manage the data, we need some architecture or some platform where that data can be managed properly. So there comes the role of big data, right? Hadoop is one of the tools, right, that helps you to store volume, huge volume of data, right? Fine. Now Hadoop will also have some problems. For example, Hadoop is meant for write once, read many times, right? But what I want? No, I want to write also, I want to read also. So for that, Hadoop will not fit. We will have MongoDB, right? So we are covering both those technologies here, right? Now again, third frustration comes. I am ending up with buying too much of hardware, too much of software licenses, right? Which is affecting my return on investment, fine? So how to materialize it? How to go and mitigate or take you say do something so that I can decrease my cost without compromising with the features or with the facilities. If I will cut down hardware at my end, it means I am compromising, right, with the features. I don't want that. So what we will do? We will go with cloud, because cloud comes with the concept of providing your platform where you will be charged only for those units which you have used. Apart from that, you don't have maintenance responsibility. All that will be taken care by them. So there actually cloud comes, right? Now, this is how actually everything is stream type. Okay.
Okay.
Client layer, you will have HTML and all. Then comes your web layer, which has to cater to web client. Now, if you see today we are able to you say communicate to our bank not only through web but also through mobile devices, PDAs and all, right?
Yes.
So only web client today is not sufficient. We need to be able to write even client for mobile devices, right?
Okay.
So here comes various type of clients. Now why we have kept HTML5? Because using HTML5 you can not only write web clients, but you can also go and quickly generate native code of iOS, that is your iPhone or a BlackBerry or of Android based phones. And there also what you have to do, you have to just use one small utility called as PhoneGap. Right?
Okay. Is it for creating the interface for the app?
Yes, HTML5 is used in order to create front end or interface, right? Using PhoneGap, you can convert it into native, which can be later deployed on those phone you say mobile devices. So you have various technologies which are there in order to help you in creating various type of clients, right? So in this way we have to actually understand, right?
Okay, got it.
So when it comes to understand architecture, we are going to use certain tools here. When it comes to design domain model, we are going to use certain tools here. When it comes to develop component, we are going to decide here whether it should be a web component, DB component or web service, right? So this is what is objective. Test component, how to test a component if it is a Java, how to test a web component, how to test a web service, which tool needs to be used, right? And then deployment, what considerations you have to take when you go and deploy, right? Monitor component, how to monitor whatever deployed components are there, right? For example, I want to see that whether my server is fine or not. Clients are calling, your speed is getting slow, we are not able to open this page, that page. It means this is the time when your system has to be scaled up, right?
Okay.
This information you will come to know only if you have your monitoring system at place, right?
Yes.
So here we will tell you how to monitor a web component, how to set the threshold so that you get the information that yes, now it has reached its maximum capability, we have to go and scale up. Now when it comes to scale up, we will talk about how to scale up also. There we will talk about how to create clusters, right, of various tools. So this tools and all is what we will supply you. Then comes troubleshooting. For example, there is an error called as 404 which is coming up, or 503 which is coming up. So we are going to tell you here for these error codes in web, these are the reasons and these are the solutions. When you go for interview, they may ask you this, you have the right answer present in front of them, right? And then comes apply enhancements. Okay, when it comes to apply enhancements, I cannot just depend on my application once it is ready for next 10 years. I have to keep on thinking of enhancements, right? Because new hardwares will come, versions of operating systems will increase, database versions will increase. So how to keep up with the pace of changes which are having in the industry or which are coming up in the industry? Not only this, there is a change in the business scenario. How to enhance those things without changing the existing infrastructure, right? So this is what is the basic objective. And once you are able to do all this, you are a profile who is ready to deploy.
Okay.
Right? In industry. So our worry here is not how we will teach you to code Java. That we know that we have to do, right? And we'll do it.
Yes.
Our objective here is to take you through the entire life cycle, telling you how tools are used, what is there that should be there in your top of brain when you are doing this particular activity, right?
Yes.
Fine. For example, you all know that first thing we have to do is identify requirement. Now when we say identify requirement, there are two types of requirements. One is functional requirement and second is non-functional requirement. For example, a withdrawal of money from ATM. Now this is functional requirement, right?
Yes.
What is non-functional requirement for this? Non-functional requirement is ATM is not able to, you say, take out the cash. In order to ensure that this problem is not there, ATM should have these features. So this becomes non-functional requirement. which will not directly affect functionality. Or take up another one. ATM is taking too much time to dispense the cash. Now this is what? This is not a functional requirement. This is a non-functional requirement, right? So we will talk about these non-functional requirements, functional requirements also, right?
Okay.
So when we start up with this, then you will understand, okay, this is how it is practiced. Because 2 hours is too less to talk about this comprehensive objective which we have set. Okay, so for most of you, I feel that what we need to do is we need to understand that we are going to start from scratch. But end product, when you will be out in market, will be capable of doing all these activities which I have